Welcome back. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX. In a significant move on illegal immigration, the West Bengal government has instructed all district magistrates to set up holding centers for detained illegal foreign nationals and foreign origin prisoners awaiting deportation or repatriation. The directive has been issued by the Home and Hill Affairs Department from Writers' Buildings in Kolkata and sent to district administrations across the state. The order asks authorities to take immediate steps to identify and establish facilities that can house foreign nationals apprehended for allegedly staying illegally in India. The proposed centers will also accommodate released foreign prisoners who are yet to be deported back to their respective countries. The communication refers to Ministry of Home Affairs guidelines and specifically mentions deportation procedures concerning illegal Bangladeshi nationals and Rohingyas. Wing Commander S. Sudhakaran, former Indian Air Force officer, joins us live. Rajesh Bhargav, former IG BSF, is also with us live. Major General Sudhakarji, defense expert, is joining us live. BL Vora, former DGP, also with us now on the broadcast. Let me make a start with you first on this, on the bearing, of course, of this big order. Major General Sudhakaran, beg your pardon, Wing Commander Sudhakaran, what do you make of this? How practically achievable is this going to be, this policy, this new policy of the West Bengal state government? Wing Commander Sudhakaran. Can you hear me, Wing Commander Sudhakaran? Okay, I think we've lost that connection with him. Rajesh Bhargav, let me draw you in here on, of course, this big statement by Chief Minister of West Bengal, Suvendu Adhikari. What is the bearing of this new decision that the West Bengal government has taken? And how practically achievable is it going to be?
First of all, now, this statement will have effect on three concerns. Number one, the BSF, because so far the BSF was it was in a state of it was a demoralized state, because it was not in position to do anything on the border. I had been to the border. I was posted there twice, and we were totally, our hands were tied at our back. We were not able to do anything. And whatever we did, like if we apprehended some Bangladeshis, because we had to hand them over to the local police for further investigation and further prosecution. But the instructions of the Bengal government were okay. Whosoever comes, don't bother, just release him. So next day morning, he would come and stand in front of our BOP saying, okay, you apprehended me, we are here. So it was a state of, you can say, totally inactive BSF personnel on the border, except that when he apprehends someone with some drug or some cattle or some other smuggled goods, that's okay. Otherwise, it was not in a position to stop the infiltration. So number one. Number two, the local population who were residing in that area, I mean, in the border area, they were always under constant threat. Bangladesh dacoits or miscreants, they would cross the border, come to village, do the dacoity, carry their cattle and go away. So they had a sleepless night, and of course, BSF was there, but still it was not in a position to guard each and every house of the village. So the villagers, they were under a state of threat. Now the third party, which is the Bangladesh civilians, they too were in a position to come to the India, do whatever they like and go back. The Bangladeshi national, they crossed the border, went even to Calcutta, stayed there for 2 months, 3 months. They took treatment there in the government hospitals and came back. They were apprehended by us, but as I said, they were apprehended, handed over to the local police, and they were released. So these are the three sections of the people residing in the border area who were affected. Now with the government's policy and the decision of handing over the land for erection of border fencing, the approach of all these three sections will undergo a sea change. BSF, of course, now will have a upper hand. It will be in a position to carry out its duty religiously with full conviction. Border the population living in our border area, they too will have at least night, quiet and very
Yes.
comfortable nights.
How
They will
important?
be
How
at least not in a
important, Major General
in a
Sudhakarji,
state.
how important are these new centers going to be, Major General Sudhakarji? Because at the end of the day, obviously, you're going to be rounding up these individuals. Obviously, you're going to be targeting illegal immigrants. But how important are these centers? You know, there's, of course, border fencing, the strict vigil on the border. That is a separate aspect. But how important will these new centers be, and these these places, these holding up places for these individuals who are awaiting expatriation? How important a move is this, and how serious will then this make the area for the DMs and all to actually round up these individuals and ensure their expatriation as soon as possible?
See, Uday, I must admit that I don't have hands-on experience. I can only apply myself as far as my military knowledge goes. But what I understand from your question and the latest move by the political dispensation of the state and the central government is that there is a requirement to unify the effort. Because there are multiple agencies operating. You have BSF, you have local police there. I'm sure there will be some military people because the situation have become very hostile. They will be there, and there will be deployment of many state-of-the-art equipment. Now we are talking of smart fencing. Smart fencing itself it will constitute a radar. It will constitute a high-end camera. It will constitute some cyber mechanism, some electromagnetic kind of equipments which will be operating, and these electromagnetic equipment will be effective overground and underground because of late we have been hearing that along the West Bengal and all the bordering states with Bangladesh, there are tunnels which have been reported recently. So all these kinds of things will have some entity, some kind of a organization at maybe or nodal points, nodal positions, nodal entity. All of them have to be put together at some kind of a existing architecture of administration. When you say existing architecture, what comes to my mind is that whoever is operating along the border, like Mr. Raghav, he brought out his point, Mr. Rajesh, that BSF continued to discharge its mandate, but the state government was actually, putting it, making it, undoing everything. Their sincerity was held in question. They were held accountable. But at the end of the day, if the same guy went to the police authorities who were supposed to prosecute them and came back and started laughing at the BSF, well, what kind of moral accountability the BSF man who is discharging his mandate will have? What spirit of motivation will he have? So
Right.
therefore, there is a requirement of unifying the whole thing. The political intent and the objective has to be very, very clear. The entire security apparatus has to be unified, bound together. There has to be meetings at regular interval, make it predictable, take stock as to what is the progress, and most important, Uday, one more line if you allow, that there is a requirement, ideally speaking, I know it is not possible. Ideally speaking, Bangladesh government has to be taken on board.
Okay.
Because if the Bangladesh government, that means it is the source of flood. The flood is coming from Bangladesh.
Yes.
They are flooding all the illegal migrants. They have to be sooner or later taken on
Absolutely.
board.
And obviously, the reference is to the illegal immigrants from Bangladesh and also, of course, the Rohingyas. Because this order specifically references MHA guidelines on deportation of procedures concerning illegal Bangladeshi infiltrants and Rohingyas. But does this step clearly show, BL Vora, that this is not just something that was spoken about in the elections and then forgotten about? This clearly shows that obviously this is something that the administration now intends to action into doing on ground, which is why this directive now has been issued to the relevant DMs.
Intentions are good, better late than never. But talking of implementation, it is going to take a lot of hard work, lot of funds, lot of staff. Let me first answer your query, which you made to the other two gentlemen about the camps. district magistrates, it's comparatively easier to round up the foreigners. Of course, there also, unless the police cooperates 100%, which is, I don't think is going to happen, but yet. But point is, you need lot of infrastructure to keep these people. You need a place. You need a security, fencing around them. You need food. You need toilets. You need beds. There's hell of a lot of money involved, lot of staff involved. It's not easy. It's easier said than done. Second, of course, is the BSF, of course, can stop now with more force the infiltration. But once porous border and all is fenced, only then things will be better, and that will, everything is going to take time. But as I said, good beginning, good intention. And taking Bangladesh on board, as General Sudhakarji said, is extremely important.
Okay.
Rather than having a confrontation, it's better to have a dialogue with them. And I think in the first instance, let us send those to whom at least they agree to take back. I think that will be a very important thing rather than having a very strong, stringent action or a viewpoint, and they also take, and it may be difficult. Of course, if they don't agree, you will have to do that. So I think this is very, very important. Again, it's a lot of work. There's so many districts and lot of tons of money. And apart from money, the logistics, as I mentioned, those are required.
Yes.
There are guidelines.
I think the order though, Rajesh Bhargav, is talking about existing facilities being created for this purpose, isn't it? So rather than spending more money and allocating funds for fresh building of places, which will obviously take more time, I think the order says that existing facilities should be identified which can be used for this purpose. Is that a more practically achievable order than building of new premises, which obviously takes much longer?
The number of Bangladeshis who are residing in India, they are enormous. It is not few thousand or even few lakhs. They are in crores, number one. Number two, it is not that we are doing it for the first time. Earlier also, we had made certain efforts to deport these Bangladeshis to Bangladesh, but the question remains that how do Bangladesh identifies them or accept them as their Bangladeshi? Because it's a very long procedure, because once we tell the state government, okay, these are the Bangladeshis, these have been apprehended by the BSF, then that letter goes to MHA, then from MHA to MEA, then MEA to Bangladesh, and they would say, no, none of these are our national. So now these people, they have to be lost somewhere. But so far, there was no facility to lodge them at any place, and as a result, what used to happen was that they used to be set free. Then there was another term that we used to call it pushback.
Okay.
Pushback means unauthorizedly those who have entered India, so push them back unauthorizedly. Open the gate in the night, push them across the gate and let them go wherever they want to go. But what used to happen, once we push them from one gate, they would, after 1 day or 2 days or after 3 days, they would enter the India from some other area, from some other gate. So all even that pushing back of
Yes.
the Bangladeshis also was not very effective.
Yes.
Now the question is, if we open some detention camp or some place where the Bangladeshis are to be kept, it's not only the logistic area, it is not only the economic area, but you see the condition once in a particular camp, say even 5,000 Bangladeshis are kept.
Yes.
So what they are doing, they are just not doing anything. They would just be eating our ration, because we cannot allow them to go and do any job elsewhere. So we will be feeding these Bangladeshis throughout unless some Bangladeshis are accepted by Bangladesh.
Okay.
Which is not likely to be.
Yes, which is why Major
not likely to happen.
Yeah, Major Sudhakarji was saying that we need to get Bangladesh on board. You believe, though, it's not practically going to happen. But the timelines are very clear, isn't it, Major General Sudhakarji? You know, what are the kind of timelines we are looking at this exercise? What we are seeing is now with the Assam government and the West Bengal government being of the same political party, same dispensation, coordination can happen better. And that is the BJP, which has obviously expressed its resolve in the election. The people have voted them in. Now they have to deliver. So the one area has been handed over to the, for border fencing. That wasn't done earlier. That's happened now. Area assessment is also happening. Now you have this order of facilities which are also being identified. So clearly the steps are being taken. And obviously it's happening in a synchronized fashion. But what are the kind of timelines that we're looking, and what should be the next steps if we are serious about achieving this?
Yeah, Uday, you have raised very important and relevant issues in the question. Firstly, the timeline. Now, timeline, as per my understanding, I may be wrong, it is 45 days of land being handed over to BSF. And BSF, consequent to taking over of the land, the fencing work would start. The issue is not that. Issue has to be seen from the perspective. It is like any other problem. Every problem will have uh, the short term, medium term, and long term objective. It has to be seen as a long term perspective plan. The issue is not going to be resolved in 45 days or 2 years, 3 years. First and foremost thing, we have to carry out some concurrent activities, carry out, establish the identity of those people who need to be deported. Mr. Rajesh Bhargav, he said the numbers are huge. As per I was there in an international seminar where the figures, one of the officials who was dealing with the subject, he says it is 10 crores. Another person, he said, no, 10 crores is an exaggerated figure. It is 4 crores of Bangladeshis who have illegally actually come into our area, migrants, and they are staying in our country. So is there any exercise which is taking place? Firstly, we need to establish our official and formal data as to who are these people, where are they, and we have to start identifying and start moving them in a graduated manner, number one. Number two, there are certain things which should be done at a national level, at a strategic level. That strategic level is, like DGP Saab ne bada acha bataya abhi, Mr. Bora,
Yes.
that ultimately Bangladesh has to take these people back.
Yes.
And there is no point confronting with them.
Yes.
We have to take them by a soft pedal method,
Yeah.
by a kind of by dialogue and diplomacy. We need to mellow them down and win them over.
Okay.
And somehow we need to create some kind of an environment where they will be made to accept these people coming
Yes.
back. 4 crores is not a small
You know,
number.
and what we're also seeing is increased vigil now, BL Vora, on the border as well. So new infiltration is being stopped. You know, people are being pushed back. That's also good to see happening on ground, because obviously if you're looking at expatriating the existing illegal immigrants, you have to ensure that new ones don't come in. So that's also an important step. What more steps are needed in the days ahead to follow up on these fresh steps of the border fencing move and the detention facility move? What more steps are needed, BL Vora? And then I'll also get in Wing Commander Sudhakar, who I believe has also joined us now finally. BL Vora.
Fencing as quickly as possible. Border should be tightened. I think another thing is the staff, police staff posted in the border areas, which has been hand in glove. I think the West Bengal government should change that staff, even in the administration also. I think all those who have been posted at the borders for a long time should be shifted out of that place, lock, stock, and barrel.
Okay.
Second, the elements from our side, at least, those who have been instigating, those who have been working as touts, those who have their money involved in the whole thing, I think they must be picked up under the law and lodged in jails. See, it has to be a multi-pronged action by the state government, and then, of course, aided strongly by the Intelligence Bureau and RAW, let me tell you.
Okay.
RAW definitely has a lot of presence on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm afraid I'm totally out of time. Wing Commander Sudhakan, very quick word to you before I toss to some ground inputs as well. Coming in, all-out war and infiltration, of course, underway already. What do you make of this step that has been taken by the government of West Bengal?
It's too late, but on steps of national security importance, it's never too late.
Yes.
Thank God that we've got a government which today is not playing the vote bank politics. It will fence the border. It will stop fresh infiltration for sure. But I think we must use technology to understand the domicile of the people who are living in this country. We need to verify them because, mind you, in 1947, roughly 40% of India has already been lost for this exact problem. A certain demography didn't want to coexist. They wanted their own land. We gave them. Now they are coming from that land which we have given again into the mainland, and in another 25 years, they will divide the country by half. If this country wants to keep dividing like this, then there is no future left for us. So if we have to look at our long-term future, it is very important that we not only fence it, keep our politics by the side, and call a spade